And this morning, we're hearing from a local political scientist and getting his thoughts on the debate. I'd like to bring in Dave Dulio, Distinguished Professor of Political Science at Oakland University. And Dave, what are your overall thoughts on the debate, and were there any surprises last night?
Well, good morning, Keenan. Thanks for having me. And first off, kudos to Alicia and her co-moderators for an outstanding job last night. It's always a good thing after a debate when the moderators are not the topic of discussion, and that's certainly the case here. So well done to Channel 7. No real surprises for me. I think that the contrast between these two candidates could not be clearer. And we saw that last week in the first debate that the two had. We certainly see it in the messages that are coming from the campaigns. So my big takeaway that really last night was that it was a strong debate for both, and it was substantive and pretty civil, which is a refreshing thing these days.
Absolutely, civil indeed. But do you think either candidate did enough to actually sway voters last night?
So I think that we are at a point in the campaign where there are just so few undecided voters left that a more important element of the campaign for both sides, and this holds frankly for the Senate candidates, for the presidential candidates, for the competitive U.S. House seats that we have. It's more about turning out their supporters than finding new ones at this point. I think that there are just so few persuadables left that everybody's locked in on their choices, and now it's just a matter of keeping the motivation and keeping the enthusiasm up among the base voters.
All right, and so it was a head-to-head between the two candidates. Do you think there was a winner last night? Did one person make their case better, perhaps be a little more persuasive, or accomplish the goals they set out to accomplish at the beginning of the night?
You know, I think we often think of these debates as this one-on-one where there's going to be a winner and a loser, and I would encourage your viewers to look at it a little differently and just think about the voters, right? Did the voters win last night? And I think they did. I think, again, the contrast couldn't be clearer on so many different issues with these candidates, and I think voters got what they needed to if there are persuadables out there, to make up their minds.
All right, and so we will be watching what those persuadable voters do. And, of course, the candidates will use the next 3 weeks to try to sway those persuadable voters as well. Dave Dulio, Distinguished Professor of Political Science at Oakland University, thank you so much for your insight this morning.
Thank you.
Of course, stay with 7 News Detroit this morning. In our next half hour, we're going to be raising the voices of voters about what they thought of the debate and going one-on-one with both Rogers and Slotkin right after that debate to get a better idea of their plans. And remember, you can watch the Michigan U.S. Senate debate in its entirety on our website. Just go to WXYZ.com.